Welcome to Patrick Roberts, our new timeline.
Well, it's nice to see you all. And tonight we're going to get into some serious conversation because things are ramping up. I mean, they are like ramping up. I don't know how well you guys pay attention to your National Guard that's in your area. You need to pay attention to your National Guard in your area. I've been watching them for a few months now, and there are so many vehicles, and I understand they're come back from a war. Hey, they didn't bring any of their shit with them, did they? They left it all over there for them guys. So don't tell me that this is all war stuff coming back. We have all kinds of different military equipment in their backyard at our National Guard that the whole backyard is almost completely full of different sorts of military vehicles. And so, and they've been practicing here in Fort Vlox. I've never even heard of this base in Wisconsin. Where did I send it to? But yeah, was it yesterday? Yeah, I believe it was yesterday. They were doing training here. Now, the training here, they've never really had. You never really heard of jets. I mean, they've had jets, but not to the extent that they have here now. They have, I don't know, I think they said 9 jets here. There's a couple from the Air Force. There's a couple, I'm going to get more into this. But anyways, they're doing practice, and now this place is hours from here. And all of a sudden, I could hear the jet up in the sky, so I walked over to my window, which is open, and I'm looking out. I can hear the jet, and I'm looking for it. And it's kind of a cloudy sky, and all of a sudden, I hear this sonic boom, just hell of a big blast. It was so intense that it took me back a little bit, and then it took my shirt and sucked it towards the window like this. It's like boom, boom. I was like, holy shit, that was awesome. So anyways, they're doing 11-day training event at Volk Field. Now, I've never heard of this Volk Field. Volk Field. V-O-L-K. Volk. This name doesn't even sound like a Wisconsin name. Like we have Minocqua, Tomahawk. I mean, we have all Indian names here. Volk Field. Whatever. Okay. So, The 2021 Northern Lightning exercise will continue through, I guess that's the name of the training exercise is. The name of the training exercise is the 2021 Northern Lightning exercise. Will continue through Friday. It started August 9th. 60 aircraft will be stationed and operate out of Volk Field, comprised of 6 Air National Guard units, 2 Air Force units, 2 Navy units, and 1 Marine unit, totaling 1,600 service members. Let me read that again. You guys need to look into your National Guard and see what they're doing. The 2021 Northern Lightning exercise will continue through Friday. It started August 9th. 60 aircraft. 60 just for the state of Wisconsin. Will be stationed and operate National Guard operate out of Volk Field, comprised of 60 aircraft. This is just aircraft, guys. Will be stationed and operated out of Volk Field, comprised of 6 Air National Guard units, 6 of them, 2 Air Force units, 2 Navy units, and 1 Marine unit, totaling 1,600 service members. That's just the start. So, with everything that's going on, and things are gonna get things are about to get real crazy. I got into an argument with it was a nurse today. When I walked into the clinic, she had these masks out and lifted it up and told me I needed to take one. And I said, well, I'm not going to take one because it would be a waste. I'm not going to put it on. And she's like, oh, yeah, you have to put it on. You have to take one and put it on. I said, I'm not even in here long enough to even bother with that crap anyways. I said, I'm in and out. And she's like, yeah, I know. You're only going to be here for about 20 seconds to, maybe a minute. It's not that long that you got to wear this mask. And I said, I'm not putting it on. And she goes, well, then you'll have to step aside and wait for your counselor. And I started laughing because I'm like, my counselor's sitting right next to her. And so I guess I'm like, okay, I'll wait for my counselor. And she put up a finger. It was like, just a second. So she punched my number into the queue, and then she took me back in her office, and she's like, I don't agree with this either. And she said, I don't know what they expect me to do. I mean, what am I supposed to tell you, or what am I supposed to make you do? And I said, well, if you want, you can tell. I want to talk to a supervisor because I'm not putting one on. And I don't think they can deny me my medicine because I won't put a face mask on. So anyways, she's like, well, why don't we do it this way? Why don't you see if you can get a doctor's slip saying that you don't need to wear a face mask? And until then, go ahead and we'll just let you go without a mask until you come up with the slip. And I was like, okay, I didn't call a doctor today, so it's just people are getting more crazy. And this lady was on a power trip, I'm telling you. Over in the chat, I want to welcome BLB, Catherine, Sharky, Shark the Cone, Cammy, Crunchy B. How you doing, guys? Hey, Cammy. So and does anybody? Oops, I didn't know it. Okay. If anybody wants to come in, I will put the link. I'll put the link in the chat, and any of you guys are more than welcome. So yeah, I'm just like, this is getting so crazy. In Australia, I love you guys. Hang in there. My God, if you guys do you guys see what Australia is going through right now? My prayers are with you guys in Australia. Digi, I hope you're doing good. Okay, Cammy. I'll be in a little bit. All right, Sharky. So I really feel for Australia. I mean, these guys are on a total lockdown. A total lockdown. They got military on the streets over there, and I'll tell you, a lot of you people. I know my stream's probably not getting out there to a whole lot of people, barely anybody, because I know they've been messing with my subs. I get messages whenever somebody subs me. Whenever I have a new sub, I get a message, and I've been getting messages, but my sub count don't go up. So I know that they've got me shadow banned. But if this does make it out to any uh, of you that don't already know this common sense, that you guys need to wake up. America needs to wake up. I think they are waking up slowly but surely, but I don't know if they're waking up fast enough. And I don't know. Again, we're supposed to go through this, right? Um, I think, I honest to God, I think tribulation has started. Um, we are in the 7 years of tribulation, and it's got to give your love to Jesus Christ and accept Him into your heart. And I hope you all find Him. Um, you are allowed to believe whatever you want to believe, though. I am not here to cut any religion down. Believe what you want. I personally believe that you have to have Jesus Christ. And I'm sorry if you disagree with me, but that's my belief, and I won't pick on you. But we are definitely going to need him. So, your guys' homework, is to check out your National Guard. Leave a comment, because I know tonight we won't get our stream kicked off. I will let the stream go through and not set it to private if everybody on the panel tonight behaves and doesn't say anything about the giggles. Now, that don't mean we're not going to talk about the giggles, because we certainly are going to have to talk about the giggles. But just remember, it's the giggles, right? Look at all these laws. Like, look at what New York's doing already over the giggles. And now they're calling for every healthcare worker, any worker that works in nursing homes, to have the giggle. You guys can say no. The more of us that stand up and say no, we're not taking the giggles, the fastest this shuts down. And some of these people that I hear that have gotten the giggles without even doing research with people for the last year, half a year at least, in their ear constantly saying how bad this is and what's in it. They listen to this for at least 6 months and then turn around and they still went and got the giggles. I'm just like baffled. I'm like baffled. I don't get it. Why are people not doing the research on this? They can, if they trust the CDC so much, they can go to the CDC because the CDC even tells some of the truth. I mean, it's got a this virus has got a 99% survival rate. That's better than the giggles is offering. And people get so intimidated, intimidated by people. They get intimidated fast. You know, they like a good friend of mine who was behind me in line when I'm fighting for not having to put this mask on. The girl behind me did not want to put it on either. And I asked her why she did it anyways. Because she's totally against the mask. She won't wear it in anywhere. And she said she felt it was easier than to put up to get into a tiff about it. And I said, what? In order to protect your rights, it's going to be a confrontation, right? Because they want to take them away and you obviously want to keep them. So there's going to be a confrontation. And whoever stands up and says no the most and stands firm in their conviction will win. 99.9% of the chance over the oppressor, because the oppressor cannot force you into doing anything. They can make mandates all they want. That's nothing but a piece of paper saying, I really, really, really want you to do this really bad. And you better do it, or I'm going to be really mad. I'm going to cut all the things you like out of your life until you do this. I'm going to make your life so fucking miserable until you do this. But you keep saying no. No. Take everything. It's no. So, I'll wait until she's done talking. Okay, I'm going to bring her in. And let's welcome Cam. Hello, Cammy.
Hi. She's having issues with the kittens.
Oh, the kittens.
Yeah. He opened his bedroom door, and so they both ran in there and went into two different directions, and he can't find them now to get them out.
I put the kittens in my title. Yay. So whoever's searching for kittens are going to get us.
Yay. By the way, I have not a solution, but an easier way to have the argument without having an argument when they're telling you to put the mask on. Get them to read the box that the mask. Yay, kitties. Get them to read the box.
Yeah. I
The box
never thought
itself
of
says
that.
does not work on coronavirus. So instead
Yeah,
of arguing with them, get them to read it so it registers in their head. Because until they read that, they're not going to get it.
right.
So every time someone tells me to do that, I get them to flip it over, and then they go, "Oh." And I go, "Yeah, that's why you see a lot of people being resistant because they read the box.
Right.
They know it's not working."
Hey, Valen, I mentioned the military last time, and you are talking about it today. This
They
is
have been
interesting.
positioning
Check these.
everywhere. And you guys noticed they've called the troops home, right?
Yeah.
Miraculously, finally, and everybody wanted it, and then nobody wanted it, and whatnot. It's all about timing. They need them for something now.
Yeah. Interesting. Check these flights live going your way now over the lake currently. Huh? Check these flights live going over. Oh, okay. I'll check that out.
Well, I've been at a pleasant reprieve today. The flights over my house have been less, and I have a major flight path. But that's because we have a fire at our airport, so it's shut down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sadly, we've got like 70-hectare fire, which is like, I think it's 2.47 hectares for every yard. So pretty much it's like 140 plus yards on fire.
That's pretty interesting.
Out of control.
I look up Val. I also looked up Valen's thing, and they're talking about the flights that are going over Wisconsin at this point, I guess.
Oh, they're all over everywhere, but how else do you think they're going to monitor and be able to? Like in Australia, it's blatant. They got troops on the ground. They're bossing people around and slapping around. Can't do that in Canada or North America in general because we have more guns. Canada, not as much as you guys, but we still have some guns, which is why they're still
Oh, that's another
definitely
thing.
rolling in.
I just read somebody's tweet, not tweet, in the comment section on this site, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about was the Queen camps, the Corin. I don't even know what we can say on anymore.
Yeah.
Without, so we
The
got
safety camp?
quarantine,
That's what we'll call it. Safety camp.
the safety camp. Yes, the
Like special
safety
kids
camp.
camp.
The safety camps are ready to go. They're all ready, and Australia, I guess, is building theirs right
Well, they've
now.
already started a list of who in North America they're going to put in the camps. And
And
fairly
I
enough,
know, I know for
so-
sure that they're building it and getting it ready in Australia because I listened to the Australian news. The guy, whoever he was, actually got up and said that they were building these camps.
well, they got them built here and where you are. And the word is now who's going in them. And so they were going over who they should put in these camps. And it's apparently for their safety, which is why I said safety camp would work. They're going to put the sick and anybody who might be at risk, is what they're saying. So when you're rounded up, it's going to be because you're at risk of catching it. And we need to do this for your safety. Keep that in mind. That's why I keep telling everybody when the natural disasters hit, do not go and get government aid. You're not going to like it.
Yeah, I think they're also locking up the unvaccinated.
Well, that's what they're going to call it, is the people who are at risk and can't be protected. And so we got to protect them by locking them up.
Did I just say something wrong? The ones who don't want to get the giggles.
Yes.
You know, I did say it.
You didn't. I know
But
you.
what about the kitties?
Oh, they're cute as all sin.
Will the
They
kitties
finally,
go to? Will the kitties go to the safety camp?
if you're dumb enough to bring them, I'm betting.
I'm sure people will try to bring their
I'm
pets to
sure there's
see if
going to
they
be all sorts of things in there. What scares me the most is the ones that I've seen have playgrounds in them, which means they're prepared for whole families. Or they're just going to separate the kids, one of the two, but they obviously are gearing to kids, which is what's sad.
You know, I'm just like mm, oh man, the stuff is just so it's ramping up so fast. And
Well, yeah, by winter they got to have it locked down again. I think that, from what I can tell, and I'm
yeah,
guessing on
yeah,
that
oh definitely.
only because the numbers are now shooting through our news cycles again on how many are new infections again, and they're like 600, 700. They're trying to like scare people again.
Yeah,
But
you can see the lockdowns coming.
so I can see it. They're going to try again. But the problem that they're having with that is, yeah, there's a lot of people testing positive with infection, but sadly, none of them are really dying. So it's really hard to get people panicked when it's not really a virulent
Right,
form.
right. I
So,
think if I heard right, they have like I don't know, like 7 million people in Australia, these parts of Australia, and they've had like a total of 750 people fall ill from this out of like 7 million people. That's barely nothing.
well,
But yeah,
from what
it's a pandemic.
from what I read, the worldwide totals after a year and a half of this was at 3 million, is what they're saying, deaths, which sounds horrifying until you realize that a virulent flu will kill 1 billion people in a year. And it's had a year and a half and it's only done 3 million, which means it's a mild flu or cold.
They don't even have a flu anymore. The, the
No, well,
flu,
that's what they're calling it. And then everybody's wigging out about this. And I've had to point out to them that the common cold is considered the same thing. It's a version of COVID. It's just not 19.
right.
But by definition, the common cold is a form of COVID. So
I
what they're
will
telling
go.
everybody is they've locked the world down for the common cold is literally what they're telling people. And because we don't educate ourselves anymore, everybody's believed it.
Hey, Watchful. I do deliveries at night and see there's a lot of unmarked double trailer trucks getting around.
Traffic at night is sick. Air traffic at night is sick. Traffic coming this entire time from across the Pacific Ocean, which would be the other continents. I've seen 20 or 30 of them fly by a day. And this is during the lockdown. So I don't know exactly what they were locking down, but it sure wasn't air traffic.
And Valium says I will go confirm the information. That same place I linked about the planes crossing Wisconsin has reported clashes. Has reported clashes in Australia just a few minutes ago. Huh. Wow.
Well, I'm
And
just a little scared that everybody's filing into the whole you must battle aside, because just choosing to battle is helping them. The way to fight is not to physically fight them, because you're going to lose. You're only feeding their side by doing that. They need a reason to make it look like they're instilling this new whatever military law thing in, and they need us to fight them to do it, so they have a reason to do it. Otherwise they just look like total jerks and everybody will fight sooner back. If it's not, they need us to look like the idiots that don't know what we're doing, that we're just making people sick and we don't care about them. And then they can say, well, look, they're the T word, and they'll round us up as those because we're not caring about the rest of the country.
mm,
When in reality, we care a lot about our fellow people, and we're just sad they're falling for this. But I'm like, civil disobedience is what we need. We don't need to be actively causing anything that would cause them to want to pepper spray us, arrest us, do any of those things,
Right.
because that feeds their side and feeds their agenda. So we have to do this without doing it, which means we have to use our battle of wits and calmly, very calmly. And when they get loud, get quiet, because then everybody hushes to hear what you're saying instead of yelling louder, because nobody listens when you're yelling. And the most effective angry people were the ones that you could barely hear when they were mad. And you knew they were really mad because you could hardly hear them. Those were the ones that scared you the most because they were always in control. So we need to be those people when we're doing it. That's why I said when they say put this on, flip their box, because they have them. They're handing it out. They've got the box right there. Right on the box is where it says it. So you get them to read the box. And get them to do it. Don't you do it for them, because they need to see it with their own eyes to process it. It's a part of the learning curve. We always learn better when we do it ourselves.
Right.
So I always make them look it up and see it. And if they have bad vision, I will get my camera out and I will get the magnifying part out, take a picture,
hopefully,
they can see it big.
Hopefully they didn't take that off the label yet, and it's still on.
Not because they can't misadvertise or they can get sued. If they say it protects and it's written on there that it will, and somebody wears it and catches it, they can get sued. So they have to put on there that it doesn't work so that nobody can sue them. It's one of those things. That's why the slips are missing from the offices and they won't show you for your, because they can't not have it there, but they can't show you because it'll back our side. So that it's not there. We don't have one, but it's there. They just don't want to show you. They've got it there. It comes in every box. I only know that because we have them here and they actually hand them out to people here, and most people just don't read it. That's the saddest part, is because it's really long and pages long. Nobody wants to read it in the 15 minutes they give you beforehand. And my kid still did it, so that I don't know if that makes it better.
John the Savage says, welcome, by the way. He says, kind of disagree. Historically speaking, even to this very day, it's the loud, squeaky wheel that breaks and burns shit that gets the grease.
They get the grease. They're not the ones that are right, and they also get the flack when it downfalls. And here's the thing. You keep talking about history. Well, we've made repeated same mistakes in history. Do you want to continue to be retarded and do the same thing and smack your head on the same corner wall? Or would you like to try something different and maybe get a step ahead? That's where I'm at. Because we haven't learned anything in our history so far. We perpetuate the same wars. We have the same cycles. We even have the same masters. We call them different things, but it's the exact same problem we had when we were in Egypt, when we were wherever. We still have a small group of people bossing the large group of people around and not catering to our best interests.
Well, here they've also they've been talking about locking up the terrorists, that there is terrorist cells all over in the United States of America called the Trump fans or Trump backers. And I'm not a Trump back. I mean, I did vote for him the first time around, but
That's a scary thing. That is so totalitarian. It's not funny. You didn't vote for the right group, so therefore you're a terrorist and we're going to arrest you. Isn't that what Cuba and Venezuela and all those other really horrible countries do to people who don't back the right people?
Yeah.
That's never the answer. Never.
Well, I don't go either way anymore because they're all working for the same evil cabal.
Well, we see the plot, and the plot is not okay, so we don't play the game.
Right.
I think most of us actually watch that show where the only way to win is not to play.
Yeah.
Comes from teaching a computer tic-tac-toe. I think it was global thermonuclear war or something stupid like that. It was a very cheesy.
How about the only way to lose a lot in the lottery is don't play, right?
That's the only way to win.
But then you have to play them, then you lose all your money.
Well, yeah, but I know people who have played in the United States and have won, and it's been years, and they're still waiting for their payout because the state pretty much told them, as soon as we've collected enough money to pay you, we'll pay you, but they don't have the money. So even if you win, you don't necessarily win. There's a giant class action lawsuit on several states for that. So lotteries aren't what you think.
Yeah.
I've even
Balance.
watched the lottery, scarily
All,
enough, live on
all
TV, pulling up
balance.
the balls. All the numbers came on the screen before the balls came out. The numbers came out of the machine in the order they had them on the screen. How does that happen?
Yeah. Balance says all options are on the table. Crunchy B, that is what I think is going to happen. They're going to call us the T words when in fact they are. And John the Savage says, just saying, I mean, look what direction things are going. Who are the loud, violent assholes, and who is winning and continues to.
Well,
And he
you're
says,
looking at
yeah,
it way
that's
wrong. If they're being that loud and messy and in your face, are they winning or are they scared and pulling Hail Marys to try and hope something sticks? Because you might call it winning. I've
no.
seen more
He said.
awakening, I won't say woke, but awakening
He
people
said,
in the
just
last
saying. I
month.
mean, look what direction things are going. Who are the loud and violent assholes, and who is winning? So he's saying the loud and violent assholes are the losers.
They
The ones who are
most of
being
them think they're
loud are
winning
the losers.
because they're the ones where you see the change happening. They squeak a wheel and somebody gets yanked off YouTube. So it looks like they're winning. Really, they're losing, and this is their
Right.
grab.
Whoops. What the hell did I do that for?
You might think they're winning, but when you
I
haven't
meant,
pulled many people off of a product because they're not following the rules, that means you're losing because you're losing your crowd.
yeah.
And so many people here, I don't know what it's like there, but if you actually get to talk to people on the streets, don't listen to the news, don't get into stores and get into confrontational moments, just sit somewhere nice and talk to them before they get their hackles up. You get so far with them and you start seeing so much different things, and then it opens more eyes. But not in a way where you're forcing it, because pretty much you have to let them discover it. We can't force anything free will. So it's
Right.
one of the things where you have to lead them and hope they take the crumb bait. Pretty much. You can give them information, you can't make them hear it
Right.
or digest it nowadays. But they need it short, they need it sweet, with attention spans. And they need you to do the work for them because they don't know how anymore. This is what I've discovered. Most people don't know how to critical think. So they actually need you to help them walk through the steps of how to critical think the subject, because they don't know how to. They've been taught how to accept and absorb whatever fact is shoved in their face. And we even got that in school. I mean, schools did that to us as much as anybody else. We just fought it.
Right. Let's see what new comments do we have.
The first ones they're going to take away in this, by the way, that I can see, are going to be your groups of people that are, well, we'll call them homeless. They could fit into many different categories, but they're the nomads, the ones that aren't fixed addresses. They don't stay 6 feet apart. They don't wear masks. They aren't following any of the rules, but they're not getting sick. Those will be the first ones they're going to pull off the street because they can prove that this is crap, because they should be definitely ill and dropping like flies if this was real, because they're not following any of the things. They don't wash their hands. They don't, like, if anybody's going to be susceptible.
What I'm like upset about is that I've been warning friends and family for years that this kind of thing was coming. I just didn't know how they were going to bring it in. I didn't think of a wonder bug, but yet it's here, and things are happening and things are rolling along, and you can see what the next step is going to be, and people are still not listening.
It's a Hail Mary for division because people were uniting and weren't believing the crap. And so they threw the two Hail Marys that scare the most people: race and sickness. And
Mm-hmm.
both of those got thrown.
Mm-hmm.
And only one of them stuck, luckily. The other one kind of did for a little bit, and then it sort of just festered
Yeah,
and it's just sitting there lingering, smoldering.
yeah. I
But
didn't
we've
think.
got to stop
Uh,
buying into that crap.
yeah, the black people were not falling for it this time. You know, they know it's not the average white man that's not out there hating on them. It's
No,
it's these
what
fucking
perpetuating the racism isn't the average person, it's the system. So if you want to actually fix it worldwide, and it needs to be fixed for everybody, I mean, there's just as much racism for every single race on the planet, including white people.
right.
And sadly, nobody's just getting judged on their character anymore. Like, very rarely. I mean, our group would judge on character, a couple other groups, but most people have predetermined judgments. And even in our group, you will see us slip because we're not perfect. And we make judgments based off of the people that are cowering a little too much, not understanding the battles that they're fighting in their life. I get that we all want everybody to be just as gung-ho and passionate into the fight we're having, but they might be battling so much already they just can't add another battle on right now, and they could be battling from a different direction. And so we need to just remember not to judge. We can.
I like what Valiant says. Many of the ones that took the giggles believe that they are now special and significant, and the ones that are not, they consider the problem that needs to be fixed. They will report their neighbor, etc. Most
Some of them will,
definitely, you hit that right on the head.
yes. Some of them will, yes. I met one today, however, that has swung to the other side, sadly, fully jabbed, but is now fully aware that he's probably running around infecting anybody who hasn't been jabbed. And that he knows that that's probably the case. He's been warned that that is probably the case. So he was a little concerned.
I'll tell you,
For me,
I was concerned with the person that I'm riding with. That person's 79 years old. She's the driver, and she got the giggles. And when she talks, she tends to spit everywhere. And it's like, oh man, I sit right in the front seat, right next to her. I have
don't
no
let
other
this happen.
choice because the back seat's full. But she's not driving tomorrow because guess what? She's sick.
Aw,
And I'm like, she just got the giggles like 3 weeks ago.
they are very prone to the new ones going around from Delta through Epsilon. Do not care if you've been jabbed or not. And you can get them really easy. They can pass along all of them. They will not be as sick, apparently, but they will still get sick, which really then begs to differ than why they're calling it what they're calling it if it doesn't actually protect you from it. It's like when you get the polio one, you don't get a milder version of polio. You just are protected against polio. So
Mm-hmm.
why isn't this working like that? Then why are they calling it the same? Like it's not. It's more of something else, but they're not saying.
Mm. Well,
I
I'll tell
just
you,
every time somebody asks me if and when why I'm not getting it and whatnot, and I go, well, I'll reconsider my opinion after the 2023 trials are up, and that's what I leave it at because I don't think most of them are aware that it's in trial until 2023, and then just leave them that gem to go home and research because it's not a lie. I'm not being judgmental about it for them. I'm just a little concerned, and so I will wait and be a part of the placebo group until 2023 and we get our first readings in about this would definitely not be an idea to do everybody, like, and just remind them again, we're in trials.
AJW, welcome, bud. Love Troll is here.
What I'm going to have to say when it's forced at work, I don't know. I'm hoping it'll be really down the road because I'm in a little store and not a big box store corporation thing. So I'm hoping it'll take more time.
Yeah. The polio giggles crippled tons of people. Polio itself, the pandemic of polio, was basically caused by an experimental injection. Yeah.
I think most of our illnesses were done by.
Hey, Salted Cedar, we've all been injected. I mean, I have problems today from being getting injected when I don't know what year it was. I think I was like 8 years old, and I got that one that goes right in your arm that leaves. It's got I don't know how many needles it had on it, but it was round and it left a round mark. Yeah. So I still got that scar on my arm from that damn thing.
I think I've had all of mine up through high school, and then I had a tetanus once because, well, my mom was all over whatever the doctors said goes, and she loved doctors. She had Munchausen by proxy and a few other things. And
I believe if the people knew what was going on back then, there's no way that our parents would have let us get any type of.
Oh, my mother would have, but my mother purposely held me back 6 months in school and sent me to hospital for 6 months for tests when I was in grade 1 because, well, Munchausen by proxy. At the end of that, by the way, they found out I was left-handed, everybody. That was the big miraculous 6 months in hospital. Left-handed, good to know. I could have told them in 5 minutes. I was so annoyed. I had to repeat a year of school because of that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing she had 3 kids live.
So yeah, as I was talking about earlier, some of you guys weren't here when I was talking about it. I'm telling everybody to check their National Guard units in their local area and see if they're doing some sort of buildup. I've been seeing tons of vehicles. I've been watching it for the last couple months, and I'm seeing tons of vehicles. And now I just found out they've been training here in Wisconsin on in a local army. I don't know if it's an army base, but I think it is. But anyway,
they lit a fire to put out
1,600 troops here. Huh? What?
Our army base the other day had a fire at it, and I went and clicked on it, and it was a little fire that they said they had controlled, and it burned for like 3 days. I think that was a training exercise for something. We have fires on the island. If they really wanted to put out a fire, they could have just gone and put out one of the fires, but they're not.
Yeah. And then they can't sit here and tell you, oh well, that's military equipment coming back from the war. Don't tell me that bullshit because they left everything over there.
Yeah, they left it over there. It cost too much to ship. Did I tell you the other night I had we'll call it a UFO because I don't know what it was. Do I think it was aliens? Probably not. I think it was ours. But a triangle spacecraft, like total triangle, 4 lights, came flying right over my house. Huge, sounded horrifyingly loud. My neighbor saw it too. My camera would not work to get video of it, but I wanted to because it was not an airplane. And by the time my camera would turn on, it was off in the distance. I took a picture anyway. I clearly still got all 4 lights in the picture.
Wow.
There was no flashers to signify it was an airplane. Kind of sounded like a jet plane, but it was a diamond shaped.
Interesting.
And it hovered over my house and was like 75 feet off the ground, like way too low, and then just took off.
Yeah.
I was like, what the frack is that? But I got so many military bases. That's why I said I can't identify it, so it's a UFO, but I think it's ours. So
Oh,
I think I
and
saw Canada's or joint operation with United States Space Force thing because it
that,
looked interesting and wasn't a plane.
yeah, that's a joke. Uh, yeah, Sharky said he was going to join us tonight, but he
You know,
must fall asleep.
I was about to say, why isn't anybody else joined in?
Yeah, I don't know, but you guys are more than welcome. Anybody's more than
Did you
welcome to
repost
come
the link
on,
in case it disappeared
and
from chat?
I'm doing that right now.
Cool.
I'm doing that right now. Just put it in there.
I'm not on my computer. I would have done it for you.
So, did you come up with a song yet about the giggles? Don't get the giggles because you will definitely have the wiggles.
That's one possibility for sure. Oh my lord. My roommate had to turn down a job. He didn't want to go do it. He went to go apply for a job at a cleaning place, and what they wanted him to clean was a giggle center, which he doesn't want to get his giggles, and he was pretty sure they would want him to do that if he was going to be in there cleaning things.
Wow.
So he just refrained from going and finishing that whole application thing and whatnot. But a part of him wanted to see if he could, first of all, get in without having the giggles, and then see how many people were leaving in an ambulance. Because that's firsthand knowledge then, right? So I'm like, but probably safer just not to go, because I'm almost assured that they would try to pin him down to give him some giggles.
Yeah,
In a giggle center.
yeah.
But I'm just like,
Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, wow, thinking about it, because I'm like, oh my.
No, I just wanted to apologize because I haven't been on in a while, and so I figured I better hurry up and get on before the 22nd because my internet will be shut off for about 10 days, and
Your
then
whole
yeah, because the fuckers, I fell behind on the bill and I owe like 80. They want an $85 payment from me, and I'm like, well, I ain't got it, so can you just set it up for on the first? I'll get it all paid off. And they're like, no, we're not, we don't do payment plans. And I'm like, any other place like cell phone company or whatever, they'll work with you.
Did
These
they
guys,
tell you they don't accept payments? Is that
no,
what they
they
tried
don't.
to say?
No, a payment plan. They don't do payment plans. You know what I'm
They
saying?
don't have a contract for payment plans, but I guarantee you, if you sent them nothing but $20, they would take it even if you owed 800, because something's better than nothing. And the moment they accept it, they're locked into it, whether they accept them or not.
So what you're saying is they won't shut me off if I
It
what?
resets the whatever, that countdown where they give you 5 or 10 business days to deal with it before they actually shut you off. It resets that clock every time you make a payment.
Oh, really?
They don't like to tell most people that. They
Oh,
try hard not to let people know that. I used to have to live off that. I haven't since I've been working full time, but back when I was working at Walmart, work full times, 28 hours, yeah, I had to live off that a lot to keep everything going, because you had to make payments to different people at different times to keep them all paid.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then,
yeah.
yeah, I got a little bit ahead and I got my first real big income tax check back from the government, because they actually owed me money back. And so I paid everything off so I could get above board, and I've kept it that way ever since. I don't like owing people.
Yeah. So, But yeah,
That's
man.
what I do because usually that freezes their clock and resets it. And then they have to redo the whatever disconnection thingy. It's not a long extension, but usually gets you through to whatever payday you're trying to get to.
Right, right.
And I've locked some of the companies down because I didn't have anything with a $5 bill. But you
Wow.
walk in and try and hand it to them direct. You make sure you send it in such a way where they can either accept it or they don't get money. They almost always accept it. I've yet to see one not take money. Now, will they still call and threaten and harass you? Yes, but they can only call you once, and then you can say, thank you, I've been notified about this, and I'll do my best, and they're not allowed to call and keep harassing you. Not even bill collectors are allowed to do that.
Yeah, I think once they get a hold of you, that's all they can do for one day.
Yeah, they get a hold of you, you just be really nice to them and agree to whatever terms as best you can. Don't lie, though. I don't have money right now. All I can do is send you $20. I know it's not going to do for whatever. If I come in tomorrow, I will give you more. Like, what can I
Yeah.
do? You say, well, what happened? You say, well, I'm not working. There's this thing called it's out there. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. But apparently I'm unessential. And that's what you say.
Yeah. Unessential. I like that.
Yeah. So I've been having a hard time. And then because the other thing you hear from a lot of people is like, well, you should just get another job. And I follow that up with, well, are you hiring?
Yeah.
No.
That,
Oh, okay. I tried. So that's what everybody says. Because like 90% of it is recorded. And this way they can't get you for not trying to get a job because they have you asking for a job right on the recording. I'll do your job. I'll do it for 5 cents less an hour than you're doing it for. They don't like to hear that.
Crunchy B said he got something from cleaning a pediatrics office. I've had itchy bumps since. Wow.
They're allergic to something in there.
Or to one of the chemicals you're using. Watchville can read.
Wash really well. I would suggest either calamine lotion, oatmeal, soothing things for on your skin to sort of lessen the reaction. And if you're into taking things, then an antihistamine or something like that. I use turmeric as my anti-inflammatory because it's natural, but it takes 3 weeks, so probably not good for you now. And I don't recommend applying turmeric or you will look like you are jaundiced.
Mhm. Welcome, Singe Man.
Anybody want to come on yet?
I don't know. Sharky was supposed to come on, but did you fall asleep, Sharky, or
He was
what?
cooking,
Are
I
you
heard.
still
So he
listening,
might have
or
been
are you
eating.
cooking?
Maybe eating. I still got to do my cooking, so
Well,
it's about to become the cooking show.
I know you're listening, Sharky. Throw us at least a hello. I'll be there. He said, I'll be there.
He's
No,
coming.
he didn't say anything yet.
Aw. My kid texted me. What did he say? Now you
So,
guys can see how blind I am. I have to stare right at the screen really hard just to read this.
so do you have you watched any of Sharky's videos?
A few of them, none lately because I've been too busy playing with kitties. They're a lot of work. It's amazing how much attention they suck up.
As a food delivery driver, I'm classed as essential. It felt like I'm the only car on the road past few nights. Yeah, I remember when they did the first lockdown, I was driving around all the time and there was barely any cars on the road. It was great.
Yeah, for driving, that would be awesome. Nobody here is listening to that. I don't know if you can hear all the traffic, but like even when we were on lockdown, that's what the road sounded like.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people listen, but our lockdown was a little bit more open than your guys' lockdown. Like, yeah, a lot of shit got locked down. We were still allowed to go out into nature and go grocery shopping. So people did that a lot. And if you just so happen to run into your friend while you were in nature, well, whoops.
Mm.
A lot of that happened. But
Just so you don't sit down, because if you sit down, they will come and get you.
well, if they see you, we have lots of actual nature with bushes and trees, and so there's places you can duck and hide. They can't find you.
So you say you're in the bushes with all kinds of different friends, are you?
Oh, everywhere you go here is like bush. Like I live in British Columbia, so
Wow, I want to come where you are. If there's bush everywhere, I'm coming.
I've had to show
Oh, was
people the
that getting
promo
dirty?
video for
Was
our
that too
province
dirty?
more than once because it actually is a legit good expression of what you see here. They make the towns look a little nicer, but I'm not in it for the towns anyway.
Hmm.
The nature part, they're dead on about. So, which is an important feature. We have a lot of that here, which is why I'm suggesting for anybody who lives at least in British Columbia, fade into nature when the time arises. Just there's places, just lots of places. And as much as, yeah, they'll have all the fancy equipment, none of those people know these places like we know these places.
Yeah.
So just don't go to places that don't have an exit. Make sure you have entrances and exits, and maybe 2 or 3 entrances and exits so that you have many to choose from, because they might have 2 or 3 covered. Will they have them all covered? Depends on if they know that formation of caves or rocks or trees and paths and ravines, and like the hunters and hikers and outdoors people here have such an advantage.
Is there somebody screaming in the background over there?
My neighbor laughing upstairs.
Oh.
He's on his patio above me. Apartment building.
Oh, wow. So you can hear anytime somebody is laughing?
Oh, I can hear all sorts of things in this apartment building.
Oh, that would suck. That would suck.
Luckily, I'm a pretty easygoing person, and
I wouldn't be able to collect my thoughts if I was all with different voices and shit. I'd be sitting there wondering, was that my voice coming out of my head, or was that one of my neighbors?
well, I have a radio going in my unit so that I have a specific noise going in my unit that I can hear, so it's not everybody all the time.
Yeah.
When I need quiet, I put on my noise canceling headphones. And it cancels noise pretty good, but I can't hear the kitties, so they've not been on lately because I need to hear the kitties. They've been up to no good so much.
Yeah.
They can get everywhere now, so it's been a blast. Been keeping everybody on their toes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's good.
And
Uh,
doubled in.
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say anymore to anybody about the Earth. Sure feels like it's moving really fast.
It kind of
Feels like
is.
we're jumping.
The sky seems to be like rotating faster to me, because I sit on my patio all the time and watch the stars, and the constellations I see are moving through the sky faster. So I can physically kind of see our time speeding up, which is kind of good and bad all in the same go, because, like, let's face it, we all want this to be over. So it's good in that aspect, but It's gonna
there's
interesting
still
to try to get stuff done.
even though they got the COV uh thing, the sickness going, they're still trying for this race war. This article I just read right here says woman who drove into two children because of their race gets 25 years in federal prison. A white Iowa woman, notice how they had to put a white Iowa woman who admitted she ran over and tried to kill two children with her car because of their race, was sentenced in federal court. 25 years. So they're really trying to get them blacks mad at us.
They
Yeah,
want everybody mad at everybody because as long as we're divided, and that's class, race, sex, which they've split so many ways now,
I
your
know.
color of skin, your particular area of town, like everybody's divided so much, and everybody like just it's competition for everybody all the time, everywhere,
Hmm.
and that's all for control. Because if we all got along, we would actually be a threat, and so they can't have that. And so it's worked really, really well.
Yeah, no, you're totally right.
Because we realistically need all of us to do it. And that's how you get the civil disobedience, because everybody would just have to stay home if nobody, absolutely nobody did their jobs. None of their underlings, none of the police, none of the military, just everybody stopped and didn't do what they were told to do and just stayed home.
Crunchy B said, "Are you getting the kitties, the giggles, Cameron?"
Heck no. They give me the giggles all the time, though, but they were different kind of giggles. My one cat is in perpetual state of poofiness because she's scared of everything. So her tail is floofed up like about 90% of her awake time. And she has medium long hair. So it looks very adorable. And that's the big kitty, not the little kitty. The little kitty's the brave kitty. Oh,
Mm.
my solar light decided it should come on. I won those with some stupid contest and actually got them just solely because they're little tiny solar light panels. And I thought they would be very convenient to be able to pop out of here in times of crisis, and then I could light a tent with them.
Hmm. I was just reading this article. Melissa Joan Hart fully giggled and sick with COVID, warns others to stay vigilant. Hmm.
Yes, because even though you're fully protected, you're not protected. So we need you to still be scared of everyone because they need us all not to get together.
Yeah.
And sadly, that's the best card to pull because that's the one that gets everybody scared. They've put out enough Hollywoodized movies where if you're not that scared, you could drop dead. And so people, and in the movies, it's in gross, horrific, gruesome ways nobody would ever want to. So that's what's running through their head is they're doing all their, it's a fear thing.
Right.
Most of them ignorance and fear. I pity them because I get that fear. I used to have panic attacks a lot, so I understand what they're going through when they're feeling their feelings, and you're not going to be able to rationalize with them while they're in that. So don't even, if you see them doing their thing, don't even try to argue your point because they're not going to be able to process the information. You're speaking to a brick wall,
Yeah.
sadly. Your best bet is to somehow get some mainstream information that lets out little snippets here and there. Like right now, they're so pushing space so much that they're slipping up on some of their words while they're trying to promote their space is real crap. And they keep mentioning the firmament in all of their big things that they've been broadcasting on YouTube. I've caught about 4 different shows that all mention the firmament, and it's all NASA scientists and their own specialists and other scientists and astronauts, and they all talk about the firmament. And I'm going, well, good. At least they're acknowledging it's there now. We've got one baby step in the right direction because they're admitting the firmament is real, which we couldn't even get that 5 years ago.
Right.
So we've got some steps in the right direction. They're just masking it with all this smoke and mirrors that they've got going on as their crap is crumbling out from underneath them. Because they're only doing these last-ditch hail thingies to maintain control because they know it's being wiped out from underneath them very soon, so they got to secure as much as possible, as fast as possible. So the faster you see them moving, the more you know the good side is coming after them, and they know it, and something's about to occur. It's just we're not being privy to what is actually going on in our favor. We're just seeing the crap. And yet again, we're being entrusted to have faith that it's going to work out in the end the way it's supposed to. Do we do nothing? No, we have to stay vigilant on not doing our things, reminding as many calm people as possible that are, you see them quivering under pressure, and remind them what it's all about really again. And my favorite one was the 9 steps listed actually in Tom McDonald's latest video. He lists out the steps they use to gain the control they're getting. And we're actually in step 9 right now of a 9-step program to make democracy no more and to take control. And it's been written many times.
You know, I've been noticing lately, I've been seeing a lot of ones. Like 111 or 1111, you know,
1111.
Yeah, 1111.
I see all the numbers every day though, so that's not fair for me. I get a lot of people going, it means something, and I go, it does until you're a cashier who deals with numbers. I've seen every combination nonstop since I started working with money, just because that's how it works. I also get 666 a lot, so that's how I know it's just the till doing its thing. But I see them all. Like every day I get a dozen 444s.
Why do you think? Yeah, I get 444s a lot too. But I also get the 6s a lot too, just like you said. What do you think the 6s are or mean?
Well, 666 actually references, everybody likes to refer to it as the number of the beast. They think that's the devil. The number of the beast is man.
Right.
Man is the beast. So 666 is man. So when you get scared of that, you're scared of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
It's been represented and taken over by everything evil because they embrace everything. I mean, hell, they've turned everything upside down at this point.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I refer to it as the upside down, like they did in Stranger Things, where it's just nothing is right.
You know, and that I never thought of it that way. That sucks. That man literally is a fucking parasite to this earth. You know, because we just use it and abuse her.
Yes, she was made for us to do
over.
that with to a certain aspect. It's just what we're doing now, the things that were handed to us were not how we were supposed to go. And we've taken it on numerous occasions. And each time it's been wiped out, this upcoming one's going to be a fun watch. What's going to hurt the most is everybody who's connected to their device too much, because that's what's going to hurt the most is when that goes. But it's all got to go. And
Right.
one of the reasons why I'm not connected to most of the things because I don't want to build an attachment that's going to hurt when it's ripped away. I don't have an attachment to the crap in my house. I have an attachment to the cats that are in my house. They're living entities.
I think I'd be all right. The only thing that would bother me is that not being able to get a hold of somebody if I needed to get a hold of somebody. You know,
You don't have to do it the old-fashioned way. We've always had that issue where if they lived far away, you had to travel a long distance to go see them. And if it's important enough to you, you'll go. We've gotten very complacent in that because of technology.
right, right,
And we've lost our contacts with people because of technology.
yeah,
But it's everyone. It's not just us. It's people. And now they've lost the ability to even interact. And I don't think most of them are going to get it back. But this is how you get them to stop breeding. Be so scared that they won't even touch each other. Because then when you
hey,
want to have a kid, you'll go get your genetics mixed together and get permission and pay somebody and they'll make money. And
maybe our videos and people who are doing videos like us are going to be the stepping stages for them in the future how to get back to talking to each other. This is
we
how
can
you
hope,
talk to each
but I
other.
don't think any of it's going to be, well, they're rating it'll be allowed to exist. They're going to thrive and live on their techno crap.
Mhm.
And it's going to get more and more integrated and controlling as we go. And they're
Right.
not going to understand all of us that did not go that way.
Mhm.
And what it is their power cities where they want everybody to be is going to be like the super world where everything is great. They'll have the flying cars. They'll have all the cool things we've ever wanted in our dreams. But you're going to have to do all of their crap and sell your soul to get there, or you're going to be forced to live out here for whatever's remaining with whatever little they didn't burn down or destroy with their wonderful weapons that they're using. And that's where we have to try and be.
Yeah.
And only those that escape there and find us will get to see the difference. And sadly, I think it's going to be worth it for us as much as it sounds like it won't be so fun. It'll be totally worth it for us because I don't think we want to be drowned in all that signal and Wi-Fi and controlling computer eye of watching you do everything and every transaction and interaction you have, because they probably don't want you within 6 feet ever again. And pretty soon they'll have computers controlling that and finding you immediately for it and just taking money out of your account right away to pay your fines. And then if you can't pay rent at the end of the month, that's your fault.
Yeah. Right.
Like, and all of that's so close right now. They're pushing a lot of stuff. I just got a notice from PayPal. I don't know if you read your new update for PayPal where they're updating the terms of service. You may want to look into it. And everybody who has one, it says in mine that an inactivity fee of $20 is going to be charged now if you don't use it for however long they feel is your inactive time. They can just take money
Oh,
from one way. So
wow.
pay us for doing nothing. I'm like, what? I already pay you when I transfer money to anybody. You get a fee. So, like, you're getting paid every time I use you. That should be good.
Right. Yeah, I mean that.
I
You
don't
know
like the
that
activity fee. That's November, I think that kicks in somewhere in there. September,
here
November.
anybody that warns anybody about the giggles or about anything truth going on, we are considered the terrorists now.
hmm But there's so many things that make you a terrorist nowadays. Has anybody ever read their list of what makes you a terrorist nowadays? Because it's actually really shocking.
Yeah.
Um, if you've got 7 days worth of food in your house, you're one. If you've ever served for your country and are now retired and home and not currently active, you are one. If you are for or against any cause, you are one. If you're religious in any way, you are one. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. There was so many of them, I just lost track, but it makes pretty much everybody one
Mm-hmm.
by the end of it. And I don't know why they did that, but I took note of it because that's important. But then I found out that they really like private prisons, and that kind of made sense too, because now they can get just about anybody at any time. And now that we all carry wonderful cell phones, they can actually catch you jaywalking because your phone will rat you out. And you can have the fine taken out of your bank account potentially before you made it to the other side of the street. Which would really suck, because if you didn't know and you had your phone in your pocket and you were just walking somewhere and you did it like 5 or 6 times, you might really be in trouble. Anyway, I don't like where this is going. It's going very Orwellian to me. And I don't like that. But they're trying to make everybody into a Stedford wife, pretty much. But not just the women, all of us. Everybody think and say what we want and don't publicly anything. It's going to be kind of like China, where secretly in our house we all hate our leaders, but publicly we're all like, yay, wave the flag. I see that coming if we don't. But I don't think it's going to go smoothly, though, because I can't fathom when they come pushing that everybody's just going to roll over. A lot of the people with guns are going to fight back, which is going to cause some unrest for a while. And sadly, I don't think it's going to go well for them. I think when that starts, all of us smart ones need to start fading away, because we know that is probably not far off from when they're going to put in martial law. And by the time they do that, you can't get out of your area. So you got to know where you're going by then and kind of be there, so that when it's locked in, you're already where you want to be. Just saying. Be where you want to be soon. Because they're rolling fast, but that's because time's speeding up. And I think they know this too. As much as we see it coming, they might see it coming more, because as much as they're on the wrong side, they're probably privy and been taught a lot more of it because they are working for the wrong side. And so they kind of know where they're at more, and to see them scrambling this hard is what I go. Yeah. And they're scrambling hard. I mean, they even called people home, and they ditched a whole country to doom, which how much of that is true, I don't know. We'll see the real videos coming out eventually. But in the meantime, what the news shows sucks, but the news lies. So how much of that is real, or is that... Because as much as I want to believe everything that they're saying about how we need to help them lots, I'm going, okay, but when I learned more about Saddam Hussein, as much as he wasn't a perfect guy by any means, he was still a leader of a country, so he sucked monkey balls. He wasn't as evil as you would have believed he was by the way everybody talked about him and treated him. He actually did a fair amount of right things for that area, and was pretty lenient for the most part on a lot of the shit most of the people there weren't.
Yeah, hey, welcome, Captain Kirk. And I did see that before. He said it's getting real. Agree. France requires the Giggles card just to buy food.
Buy groceries.
Yeah.
And that's like not going over well. And that's going to turn into a big fight, but that's exactly what they're hoping for. And watch everywhere that fights right now, and watch what happens to them, because that is the precursor to what you can expect going on here. But imagine that the people locking you down here are the superpowers that have all the good toys. Everywhere else doesn't have the good toys. You guys do. Like, I'm not worried about here in Canada, because as much as, like, yeah, we're friends with you guys, we don't directly have the good toys.
all the big, bad, fun weapons are going to be pointed right back at us.
They're already at you. That's the part that's sad, is most people don't see what's going on. They've been using the weather weapon for 10 years at you guys, slowly killing off, drowning, destroying all the coastlines. In one way, shape, or another. you're either getting rainy storms and flooding, or you're burning and droughted.
I was watching video on the one that's coming right towards Florida right now. Ike or whatever. I don't know what the name of it is, but
Do you watch the radar streams at all for any length of time?
yeah, I
Because I had
was
to stop
watching it.
because I can see when they're actually strengthening and shooting shit into the storms, and then you watch them get like
I
either
watched
dissipate or stronger.
big energy burst in the
And
middle.
it
That's
annoys me because nobody else will admit it's happening for the most part. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, do you guys not see that they're actually like using the weather as a weapon right now? It's physically being targeted at all sorts of countries because the entire world is actually being taken over. And most people,
that
that's such a
sandstorm.
big fan, they'll never believe it.
That sandstorm is going right through Florida right now too.
What
It's
is causing so much sand to get kicked up into the air?
I
That's
don't
what I'd like
know.
to know. I
I
would
think
like
it's
somebody in that vicinity to send us some imagery of that desert and why the sand is lifting up, whether it be just an extra windy day or is it something going on? Are we milling something there and doing it on purpose?
yeah. I've never heard of it before. Whipping up that
I've
and
never
traveling
seen something
that
like
far
this.
away.
Like last 5 years or so, yeah, but like this was not a thing before that. It would be so rare to see a dust storm, a sandstorm, or whatnot. Now we're getting all sorts of things we've never heard about before that are hitting all the time.
Right.
And they keep calling them rare events, but we keep seeing them like repeatedly very often. And I'm going, how rare are they then if we're constantly in them?
Right.
Like meteor showers. In the last 5 years, I've never seen so many meteor showers. They used to be rare events that you got excited about. And now, like freaking every other month, they're telling you about the other one you're going to miss.
Mm-hmm.
Or these lunar and solar eclipses that happen all the time now. Those used to be
I
rare.
was just gonna mention the eclipse because we're supposed to have another one coming up.
Or these blood moons. Those weren't nearly as often as what they do now. Strawberry moons and all sorts of other freaking kinds of moons that they have. I'm like, none of those were a thing.
How about the sun turning white?
Oh, that was so long ago now, but I almost equate that to when we actually, however we transferred from Sagittarius to where we are now. This is the new star. Our star was yellow in Sagittarius.
Right.
And now our sun is white and hurts. And when you get really hot, it feels like you're cooking.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, white signifies LED, so it might be a fake sun.
Yeah.
That's my thought process on that, because they've been talking about that for a while. Boeing has a whole video about how they're going to redirect sunlight with satellites and make a different kind of sun for us to see whatnot.
So I think I'm gonna call it early night.
I'm sure he never even came on.
No, he never made it. I did see him in chat though. He's still cooking, but I'm just not feeling too. My stomach, I feel bloated.
Pat needs to fart.
Would a can of soda do it? I can't even. I don't
The
even.
title didn't lie. We'll put a kitten on.
Oh.
Hey, hi, Nico. You're on TV Live. Well, you're on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it tonight. I do appreciate you, Cammy, for coming on. And as always, it's nice to hear from you and see your kittens, your precious little kitties.
He actually slept 5 hours last night.